Having one of those moments. All right, welcome. This is Michelle McLean. This is our first class of Mountain Movers Basic Training. I have the workbook in front of me that you guys are going to be using this week to do your homework. And sorry, I'm looking for my thing. My computer's being really annoying. It is not allowing my stuff to do what I want it to do. Okay, so we're excited that you guys are here. We have paired you guys up into teams, and you will be getting email from who's paired up. We are recording just because we'd like you guys to be able to watch it a second time. We really do want you here live, though, if at all possible, because it really makes a difference in how effective the class is in a couple of ways. One of the ways it makes a difference is because it's easier for us to teach a class when we have people to interact with. All right, does that make sense? Otherwise, we're just talking to ourselves, and that it's hard to teach a class if you're just talking to yourself. So the other thing is you will get more out of it if you are a real participant rather than just a, just a head, right? Showing up whenever. Jess, do you have anything to add to that? No, you're on mute. You have to unmute.
Nope, that was perfect.
Okay. All right. So what we're going to do in class one today, this is a 6-week class, and everybody that graduates is going to have the opportunity to move on to the Growing Your Garden class, which is next, which is how to build your own team. Okay. So before we can build teams, we have to be very strong consultants. And Jessica and I were talking about this week. And actually, I think I was talking to Pat also. She's another director on my team. And I said, every director on the team, every director in Pampered Chef is first and foremost a strong consultant. So in order to ever build your business in any way, you have to be a strong consultant. So our goal over this 6-week time period is to make you guys into really strong consultants. So what I would love for you to do is share with me, and I am going to take some notes as soon as I locate my pen. I share my desk with my husband, so sometimes I can't find anything. So share with me what your goal is that you would like to reach at the end of this 6 weeks. If you had no obstacles and you had a magic wand that you could wave and it would give you anything you wanted in your business, what would it be? I'm going to hit Jen first. Unmute yourself and tell us. She has to find unmute. It's at the top of the screen usually. Yeah, you did it, and then you went back on there again. You had it. There you go.
There we go. Hi. I would like to have more confidence in myself because I think I'm getting in my way faster than I can get out of it.
Oh, that happens to all of us, sweetie. You're exactly right. Okay, so more confidence in yourself. And what do you have a monetary goal or some other kind of goal that would be something that's more tangible also that we could work with?
I would like to have at least 2 people under me before the end of the year.
Okay, that's awesome. Excellent. Anything else?
No, I think that by building the confidence, I can then build my team and make it work better for all of us involved.
Awesome. That's great. Thank you so much. All right, I'm going to hit Clara next because you're the next one on my screen. Share with us some goals you would like to achieve in these 6 weeks.
I agree with Jen. I'd like to get out of my own way. I have the gift of gab, but for some reason, when it comes to talking to folks on the phone, yeah, that ain't happening. So I would like to get more confidence in myself in making cold calls. And that's not like cold calls, but I mean the follow-up calls to hosts, the follow-up calls to guests, the follow-up calls to folks who visit me at a vendor event.
Okay.
And doing that will help me to get my calendar full because I'll be talking to people.
Very good. So full calendar. Okay. Excellent. D. Thank you, Susan. Thank you, Clara. D. Unmute first. There you go.
Yeah, I agree with everybody. I'm having the same issues. I get scared at times, and then there's other times where I just talk up a storm. And there's other times I get on the phone and I could be so good at it, and then there's times where I just don't want to pick up the phone because I'm afraid to say stuff.
Okay, so you would like to be better on the phone.
Yes.
What other kind of tangible things would you like? You have a certain money goal or a show goal or anything like that?
I want to do more shows. I like the shows a lot. Like I like Facebook shows, but I like being in person.
In-person home
Yeah.
show. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I just did a vendor show Saturday at a retirement village, and it went pretty good. I mean, I got a lot of leads.
Good.
So now my next goal is to get on the phone and start calling them.
We're going to be addressing that tonight and next Sunday also. So you're going to get some really good information about how to do that. That's awesome. Thank you. All right, Suzanne, unmute and tell us some of your goals. I believe that's Suzanne. I think that's her number. I'm thinking she doesn't know how to unmute.
Well, here, maybe I can do it.
There.
There we go.
There you go. All right. So Suzanne, talk and tell us what are your goals for getting the next 6 weeks during this class?
My goals are to follow up with the ladies from my last show, especially the lady who is ultimately, she's so excited about possibilities of becoming a consultant.
Awesome.
So, I mean, she's like, when she left, she says, before she left, she said, you and I have got to get together. We will get together.
All right. So you and I are going to have a big conversation about that tomorrow. That's awesome. So what other kind of goals do you have besides just what you're going to do tomorrow? What are you going to do over the next 6 weeks?
Well, I need to do like I've been hearing from the other ladies. Is I need to sit down and make the phone calls and not let the things in my kitchen or my environment disturb my time that I set aside for doing this.
Oh, perfect. Okay. So you need some ways to schedule some office time that's actual work time without distractions. Okay. That's awesome. That gives us some really good things to work with. Thank you. Okay. All right. So the first thing on the agenda for tonight, Jen, Clara, and Dee all mentioned. So this is great. Jess, if you want to remute Suzanne until she needs to speak again, that would be fine. Thanks.
You got it.
All right. So we're going to talk to start off with about belief. And this is where we always have to start when we do any training. Because honestly, if you don't believe in yourself and in the company and in your business and what we can do for other people, there's nothing we can do to help you be successful. That's the first thing that always has to happen. I'm going to hold this up, and I believe it's going to be backwards when you see it. So don't freak out because I'm on selfie camera. So a lot of times it's backwards, but it's in your packet that you're going to get. If you don't have it yet, you will probably get it via email. So this is called the belief triangle. And just like any triangle or circle, it never ends, right? It just keeps going around, doesn't have an ending point. So it starts at the top with belief, it goes to actions, and then it goes to results, okay? So the reason that this is important is because everything in the business starts out with belief. Now, a lot of us join this business because of the products, right? You agree with me? Yeah, right? So because we believe in the products, we love the products, we know what they can do for us in our kitchen, and we're excited about them. So your belief starts right there, okay? You have to believe in the products. The whole company is based on that. Now I have to ask you, do you believe in the business? Do you believe in the Pampered Chef company? Yeah, good. All right, so I love that. It's really important that we believe in the company. They do amazing things for us, and they really take care of us, and they take care of our customers, which is awesome. Do you believe in your ability to make this business a success? So what I'm seeing is That's not what that's the problem. That's where our belief falls. And that's what you guys told me, because I took notes, and well, all of them start with, I need more confidence. So we're going to work on that. Okay. So we like to say, if you believe in what you're doing, it's going to force you to take action, right? You're just going to automatically take action because you're so excited about a product. You tell your friends. So that's an action, right? When you tell your friends, what happens? You get results. The results might be that you get sales because your friend buys the product, or it might be that your friend refers you to other people who buy the products or book shows. Okay? When you get those results, it takes you right back to the top of the triangle again to believing. Because when you get good results, you get excited, and that fuels your belief. So does that make sense? And then you believing more, so you're excited again, and you're going to go and take action again. And you can see how this keeps going around in a circle. Now, what happens if the top of this triangle is missing? It's hard to go anywhere, right? Because we don't believe. But I have a solution for that. What you're going to do if you're struggling with belief is you're going to start over here on actions. Because we don't have to have belief in order to take action. Did you guys realize that? You might be really doubting that you could do a good show. Or you might be really doubting that anybody wants to do a show with you. Or you might be really doubting that you're ever going to make the, $500 a month or whatever it is that you want to do. You might be really doubting you're ever going to get recruits on your team like you want. But what we're going to do is we're going to fuel your belief. Hey, Jess, you might want to...
Want me to mute?
Yeah, only because I can hear the TV, and it'll be hard on the recording. So you can fuel your belief by taking action, okay? So I'm doubting myself. I'm not feeling good. And I'll tell you what, guys, 19 years in the business, 1,600 shows under my belt. In October, I was doubting myself. That's stupid, right? I was doubting myself. We all go through it. I was looking at my calendar going, oh, crud, there's nothing on it. I guess nobody wants to do shows with me. We all feel that way. So don't think you're alone in that, okay? So I had this big stress attack, I don't have any shows on my calendar. And then I got on the phone with my mentor. Her name is Robin. And she said to me, you need to make phone calls and call me back in 5 days. It scared the crud out of me. All of a sudden I had to make phone calls, and she was expecting me to report back to her. So you know what I did? I made phone calls. I still didn't believe that I was going to get anywhere. I had no belief, right? But what did I do? I made the phone calls. I took the actions. And you know what happened? 10 live in-home shows on my calendar for November. All it had to do was take action. Then what happens when you take action? You get results. And now all of a sudden I'm like, what was I thinking? Of course people want to do shows, right? So because now I've got 6 shows on my December calendar already. I've got 10 shows on my November calendar, plus some Facebook shows. And I had plenty of shows in October. But I had to take the action in order to take myself back to the belief. All right. So if you don't have the belief yet, start on this part of the triangle, because it just keeps going around, and you're going to take those actions, and you have to take them over and over and over and over and over again before we get to belief, before we get to results sometimes, right? Not always the first action. I made a lot of phone calls to get those 10 in-home parties. Okay. I didn't make 10 phone calls. I probably made 100, or contacts. You have to. Okay. So you're going to do a lot of action, but they're going to get results, and you're going to go to belief. Let me give you an example. Kids, right? I have 4 kids, and 2 of my children are really good spellers, and 2 of my children are really bad spellers. Like, my son could write the same word on a piece of paper in 3 different places and spell it 3 different ways. Okay. And then you're like, what is this word? And he always says it's the same word, but it's spelled 3 different ways. So when they were little and they had to take spelling tests, they would get a list of spelling words on Monday, right? And they had a test on Friday. And what did I do with them all week? I made them take action. Every day I would give them a test, and I would read the spelling words out, and they would write them down. And every one that was wrong, I made them write it correctly 10 times. So for Luke, that meant he had to write all 10 words 10 times every day, because he couldn't get them right, okay? So the girls, they could learn through the week, and they would get most of them or all of them right by the end of the week. The good spellers got them all right on Monday. We didn't do any studying, okay? We didn't have to. Their belief was there. But the ones that were not good, we had to practice them all week long to get it right. So that's what you guys are going to do. That was the action we had to take to get a good grade on that spelling test. So you guys have to take the same kind of actions. You're going to have to make the phone calls, do what it takes to get the belief, okay? I'm going to show you something else in my office. I'm going to pick up my iPad, turn it, and I'll show you this. You see that? Can you guys see that? That is my wall of awards, okay? It's an old apron. I tacked it up on the wall, and every time I get an award, there and right next to it, there's posters and stuff. I mean, not posters, certificates that are up on the wall. I put all my awards on the wall. You know why I do that? Because sometimes I struggle with my belief, and I need a reminder of the good things that I have done in the past in order to fuel my belief. Okay, so I'm having a bad day, and I can turn my head and look at the wall and see 5 certificates for earning excellence awards. That makes me feel pretty good, right? I can see a certificate for speaking at conference. That makes me feel pretty good. I can see a letter I got in the mail from Gene Jonas when I was number 3 in the company for sales in a month. Okay, and I can see all the pins and ribbons and things that I've had in the past. Make yourself a wall of awards. Make a board, use a chalkboard. I mean, whatever you need to do. Use a cork board, any words that you have, anything that makes you feel good. I want you guys to use that, okay? Now, I can't show you what's on my iPad, but I also have a belief cover on my iPad. I can't show it to you because I'm talking to you on it. But when I first pick up my iPad and touch it, a sheet comes up. It's a full page thing of all kinds of pictures, okay? And it says, believe in yourself. And it has pictures of my kids and pictures of my husband and pictures of us on vacation and pictures of awards that I've got. It's just a variety of things, and it's not all about Pampered Chef. It's about things in my life that I have done well, okay? I need reinforcement. So do not feel bad if you guys need reinforcement. Figure out a way to get reinforcement. And if you need help getting reinforcement, that's when you're going to reach out to me and to Jess, and we're going to help you with that. Okay, because we all need it, because everybody has self-doubt sometimes. Okay, so we're going to talk about our belief, and this is where I'm going to have you guys unmute one at a time again, and I'm going to go in a different order this time. Okay, so we're going to talk about how you rate your belief today, and we're also going to talk, actually I'm not going to do that part. I'm going to let you guys do that as homework. What I want you guys to tell me is, what is it that you struggle with believing? So we're going to start with D this time. D, tell us what you struggle with believing about your Pampered Chef business.
Oh, goodness. I guess trying to get people under me and trying to get a consistent customer flow, like having the consistency of them coming back to me.
Okay, customer loyalty. Awesome. Okay, so you're struggling with trying to be a recruiter and with getting your customers to want to come back to you, or you feel like maybe you need to go to them.
I don't want to be pushy either. Like I feel like I hate when people
okay.
Pushy.
let's address pushy, because that's a really big concern for everybody, and I think as women it's a bigger concern. I think men never talk about being pushy. They really don't. They just don't even think about it. But we as women, we worry about being pushy, right? So let me talk to you about being pushy real fast. If you take yourself out of everything you do and you make what you do about other people, you are never pushy. You never come off as pushy. Okay, so I'm gonna give you an example. If I call someone and say, hey, will you do a show for me? That's pushy, because I'm talking about myself. But if I call them and say, hey, I would really love to come over and do a party with you so I can help you fill up your kitchen with a whole bunch of our wonderful products for free. I'm asking the same question, but I'm asking it in a different way. Okay. And that allows you to not be pushy. Took yourself out of the equation. Okay, that makes sense?
Yes.
You can practice. What they call it is you language, take the word I out of your vocabulary and turn it into you language. Okay? What can I do for you? What can we do for you? What can Pampered Chef do for you? Okay? Good job. All right. So, Clara, tell us what you're struggling with about belief.
I mean, it's back to my beginning thing was that I don't believe that I can have a conversation without rambling or not driving the customer away by, I know about making it about them, but I just, I need more help with the words to say, and I guess the flow of, if the conversation starts going south, how can I bring it back around to where it needs to be?
Okay. So I think that we have a lot of things we're going to do in this class that's going to really help you with this problem. One of the things is you have some scripts, and there are some scripts in your packet, in your workbook about, so you're prepared how to answer things when people say stuff to you. First of all, knowing what you're going to say to people before you call them, not just doing it off the cuff will help, but also being able to react in situations. So being able to react appropriately is really important. This is a skill that we use at our shows all the time. You can't just go stand up there and do a lecture series, right? You have to be able to react to what your customers are saying. When you say, who has this product, and somebody says, oh, I have it, and they want to tell you about it, you can let them tell you, and then you have to be able to react to it, right? They have the Rock Crock, and they just love it because they can make the chicken in the microwave, and they use it to make soup on the stovetop, and it's so wonderful. So how am I going to react to that? Oh, I'm so glad you love yours. By the way, have you tried using it on the grill? Did you know it can go on the grill? Oh, and of course we can put it in the slow cooker stand, and you can use it as a crock pot. So being able to take what they said and turn it around so you're adding to the value of the conversation, but always make sure, and I think this might help you a lot. And I had to practice this because I grew up in New York, and our style of communication there is different than the style in Baltimore, which is very Southern and lovey-dovey, and everybody, you have to, like, you can't, when someone asks you a question, you can't just say yes and walk away like we do in New York. In Baltimore, you have to say, oh, honey, thank you so much. Yes, of course I would love to do that. And it's really hard to learn to do that if you did not grow up that way. So I had to practice. So one of the things I really practiced doing, and I think this will help you with conversation, Clara, is whatever the person says, I always try to thank them for their response. Okay, so if you can say, thank you so much for telling us about that, or oh, I really appreciate you sharing that with us. If you could thank them, they feel valued, and it doesn't really matter what you say next, they're going to have a positive feeling towards it. So that's going to help you a little bit in your conversation. And we're going to work some more through that, but that's good. Okay, Jen, share with me what you're struggling with on belief.
There we go. Figured it out. I also feel like I defer more to what they tell me versus, trying to be I always want to say, well, I want to help you, instead of saying well, how can I, my wording is what's kind of not always the best.
So you're struggling with believing in how you speak. Okay.
Yes.
So I loved that example where you said, I want to help you versus how can I help you? Because when you're saying, I want to help you, you're thinking it's about them, but they hear she wants to do something, right?
Right.
Okay. So that's a difference in so sometimes before we say something, we have to think, how does the other person hear it?
Right.
More than what am I saying, but how do they hear it? Okay. So that's a good one. So we're going to work on a lot of words that'll help you. And good. You can't always take whatever words I say or whatever word Jessica says and just use them, because it
won't sound like me.
It won't sound like you. That's exactly right. And a lot of times we try to use other people's words, and we come off sounding false, and we come off sounding like we're making a speech. Just like the politicians never sound like themselves because somebody else wrote it. Their speechwriter wrote it, So you want to take the gist of what we said, but put it into your own language. Okay, so we're going to work on that. Good. All right, Suzanne, share with us what you're struggling with on belief. Oh, Jessica, you got to unmute her. Okay, there you go. Thanks.
I just was, at first, I will just tell you this outside. I was like, I had to pray God recently and ask him. I said, is this really what you want me to do, God? Because I am really struggling with the fact that I'm calling all these people and nobody, they're all saying no, 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 no. And then God says yes. And he gave me a big show last month and a huge show yesterday with somebody that wants to become a consultant. So just, he's putting that little bit of fire back into me and saying, go for it.
So you were struggling with, am I really supposed to be here doing this? And
Yes.
the answer came to you, yes, you are, in results. That's how you got your answer. You got that $1,500 show you did yesterday. That's a huge answer. That's a yes, you're doing the right thing, right? So that's really good. And I'm a believer.
And then people coming to me and saying, oh, I need, and my office wants this. Can we set up time for, they're all real estate agents and they want real estate products to get to their house closings.
So what I'm hearing is that you are getting people that need your services, and that is going to be
yeah, and some of them are just coming to me because they know that I sell it and they've been to my parties and I'm excited.
Okay, so I think you overcame the I'm not sure I should be doing this. Is there another thing that you're struggling with in your belief, or is your belief right on target now?
My belief is, well, yes, it's what I want to do, but I think I talked to you at a meeting, a Monday meeting about, this is really what I want to do. I really need help with not putting so much time into it, setting up the show, because it takes away from my joy sometimes of wanting to, it takes the energy away from the show, setting it all up.
So we'll work on that. Okay, good. Thank you. All right, we got that. Okay, so now I got a whole bunch of list of things we can gear towards. That's awesome. So we're going to work on really boosting all of your belief. And I think you're going to get your belief boosted mainly through the results that you're going to see if you do the actions and you take the training that we're going to give you and that we're working with you with and actually put it into practice, because it's wonderful to learn new things. I'm a believer in lifelong education. You need to always be learning. Okay, it keeps your brain going. It, keeps from getting dementia ultimately, because you got to have your brain going, right? So, but learning without practicing is useless. It really is. And it's like I was talking to my husband yesterday. His mother was my math teacher when we were in 10th grade. And I said, we had a conversation about one of our kids, and he was like, I hated that teachers grade homework. And I said, honey, your mother was my math teacher. And what did she do at the beginning of every class? She went around and looked at everybody's homework with her little notebook, her grade book, and she checked off that your homework was completely done. She didn't necessarily give us a grade, but she checked it every day. But I said, in math, it's really important that you do the homework, because it reinforces the concepts that you learned that day. And if you don't do that homework, the next day, you're not as strong on the concepts, and you know how math builds on itself, right? So if you don't get that basis, that the building blocks, you can't learn the next concept. So that's what we really want you to take what we teach you, put it into action, and practice it all week. You're going to get so much more out of this class if you do that, and you're really going to learn a lot. But you're not only going to learn a lot, you're going to grow a lot, and that's our goal. Okay, and that's one of the reasons why you guys got a workbook, because it's going to keep you focused on the actions that you need to do. All right. So the first step, the first action we're going to take this week is we're going to build ourselves a lead list. Does anybody have a lead list? You do. Awesome. She has one on her list. Okay. So we're going to build a lead list. And in your workbook, you have this paper, and it looks like this. Okay. And I know it's backwards for you guys, but it says leads from A to Z, locations, people, and professions. Okay. So your goal this week is to fill A through Z with at least one name on each one. Jen's face was awesome. So you're going to fill this out, okay? And you can put more than one. You might know 3 people named Mary, put them all on the M line, okay? So you can on the H line, you might just write hairdresser and then write her name, okay? It doesn't have to be the name of it might be that you know somebody at the grocery store. You see at the grocery store every week, okay? So you guys are gonna fill this in, and I want you to really rack your brains and fill this whole entire thing in. Does anybody know how Pampered Chef started? Know the story about how Pampered Chef started? I'll check my time. Jessica knows. So let me tell you a quick synopsis of the story of how Pampered Chef started. Doris Christopher needed to make money, right? She had 2 girls and they were school age, but she wanted to be home in the morning with them to put them on the bus, and she wanted to be home when they got home from school and through homework and all. So she wanted a job that was going to allow her to be mom first, okay? So she decided that she was going to sell kitchen tools because this is where her education was, and she also had a teaching background. So she went and she bought a whole bunch of products that she thought people would like to have in their kitchens, okay? And she brought them home and she practiced with them. But then she had to call people and say, will you do shows? Does that sound familiar? We all have to do that, right? So what did she do? She sat down and she made a list of every single person that she knew. Now, you might know Bob and Mary. You're just going to put them down as one person, right? Because they're a couple, okay? So families. When she was done with her list, she had 101 people on it. All right, I'm only asking you to make 26. That's a lot easier, right? That's a quarter of the number. So you can flip the paper over and write more on the back. That's nothing wrong with that. But she had 101 people. And then what did she do? She sat down and she called 101 people. Hey, guess what? Jay and I decided to start our own business. We're calling it the Pampered Chef. We really need your help to get started. Would you please think about having me over to do a party? You know, your friends are going to love it. I'm going to make them all kinds of great food, and they're going to get to see these really high quality professional kitchen tools, and they're going to get to have in their homes. And that's what she did. And she made 101 phone calls, and it turned into this gigantic company. All right. So she started exactly where we're asking you to start. So the other page that is in here is, Clara, you're going to love this. I don't know if you can see it, but this page is words to say. Okay, so it is very good words to say. Oh, and that's funny because it says, one of the examples is, while you're shopping at the grocery store, you notice another person from your neighborhood. You can start up a conversation by saying something like this. Meal planning can be time consuming, right? Now that doesn't sound comfortable coming out of my mouth. I felt awkward saying it. I would say, oh my goodness, why does my family need to eat dinner every night? And then that would make them laugh, right? Why do I have to feed them all the time? I'm so frustrated. It's hard for me to figure out what to feed them every day. What are you feeding your family? You know, help me with some ideas. You know, I was thinking about making this and this, and that's how I would start a conversation. So I want you to read through this, and then there's lines on the bottom where you're going to write in some conversation starters that you can use on the phone and in person. Okay, so my team knows that I call this step go out and make friends. That's really what I want you to do, okay? We're not going out to get Pampered Chef parties. We're going out to make some new friends, because what happens with friends? They turn into Pampered Chef contacts. But if you go out and you're the dragon Pampered Chef lady and you're attacking people in the store, nobody wants to talk to you. They see you come in and they run, okay? So I say you go into the bus stop with your kids. You're not going to start the first day of school and tell them, guess what, I'm a Pampered Chef person. You're going to be like, oh, hi, I'm Michelle. You know, this is my daughter, Morgan. You know, and you're going to meet them and talk to them, right? And then the next day, you're going to see them again. And you're going to get to know them over time, okay? So you're going to have a conversation with somebody. When you get comfortable enough in the conversation is when you're going to say, sorry, somebody opened the door, but I think it was the cat because I can't see a person. Yeah, it's the cat. She decided she needs to come in. So my distraction level is really high. So what's the saying? Help. So when you get comfortable with them, you're going to ask them the question, so what do you do? Okay. You know, when you're not with your kids, what do you do? You know, when you're not here working at the post office, what do you do? You know, What's your fun thing to do? Once you ask them a question and you listen to their answer, and then you make an appropriate, comment about what they did, because you have to make sure you listen and make an appropriate comment before you tell them what you did. Okay. And most people know how to have a conversation, and they're going to turn around and ask you what you do. Okay. So that's the first piece of your homework this week, is to fill out this list. And if you get more than 26, we might have a little bonus in there for you. Okay. Once you get this list filled out, take a picture of it and send it to your director, whether that's me or Jessica, okay? So we know you have filled it out. And you're gonna do the next thing on this list, which is really important. And I call this the ABC list, okay? After we have this list all filled out, you're gonna go back through this list and you're gonna put an A, a B, or a C next to each person, okay? And this is what they stand for. Are you ready? Take notes on this part. The A's are people that when you call them and say, hey, will you do me a favor? They say yes automatically without asking what it is. This is your best friend, your sister, your mother, those kind of people, okay? Doesn't matter what the favor is, they're automatically going to say yes, right? That's your A's. Your B people are the people that are going to say, of course, but what is the favor? So they're not going to necessarily agree to it until they know it's something they can really handle. Okay, so they're going to qualify it with, would you tell me what it is? Those are your B's. They're likely to say yes to you. These are your other friends. These are the people that you know who love to cook. These might be your cousins, whoever, okay? So these are those people that you feel like are going to be good yeses, but you know that they want a little bit more information. What am I going to get out of it is basically what they're saying, okay? And then you have your C's. The C's are the people that you're afraid to call. We all have them, right? That scary neighbor, right? Ooh, I always feel like she's judging me. So those are your C's, okay? Those are the people that you expect to get a no from. So you're going to ABC this whole list after you make it. And then we're going to teach you how to make phone calls with the A's, B's, and C's. But I want you to do that. Then I want you to do one more step on this list. I want you to go back through it, and I want you to put little hearts next to some people. And the people that you're going to put heart next to are these people. Somebody you think, wow, they really could use a little bit of extra money, right? I know she's always talking about her car keeps breaking down. She really needs a new one. Going to put a heart next to that person. This person's home with her 5 kids. She could really use a night out once in a while. Going to put a heart next to that person, okay? This person is so fun. Every time I go somewhere with them, they're the life of the party. I'm going to put a heart next to them, okay? This person I would just really love to spend more time with. I think they'd be so much fun if we worked together. You're going to put a heart next to them, okay? So that's what you're going to do, A, B, C's, and hearts. So that's your homework. And then take a picture of it and send it to your director, either via email or via text message. All right, the next thing in here, and this is good, and I don't think anybody on this call is a brand new consultant. So the next thing in here is called cold case contacts. And what this is a list to help you think a little bit more, okay? Like it says, who was your first host? You're gonna write around that thing. Look through your customers from that show. It might be a great time to follow up. So you're gonna make yourself some lists, and feel free to use more lines than are on here in these little spots. If you can write on the back or add something to it, put a Post-it note on it. I'm good. I love Post-it notes. I got them all over my desk. So you're going to go through this sheet. This is going to help you create another lead list. So what we're doing is we're creating a booking lead list. We're creating a recruiting lead list. And this is a lead list that's going to be for booking and for customer care calls, which we're going to be talking about. Okay. So you are going to be creating your lead list this week. And I want you to really put a lot of time and effort into this. Don't expect to be able to do the whole lead list in 10 minutes. The lead list is the kind of thing where you sit down for the first time and you make it in 10 minutes. And when you make it, you've probably got 15 of these 26 spots filled in. And you're going to leave it on your kitchen counter or on your coffee table or on your desk, wherever you go every day. And when you walk by, you're going to be like, oh, I want to add that person to my lead list. And you're going to add them on here. So it might take you all week to get this lead list filled out. Do not wait until Sunday afternoon of next week to fill it out, okay? We want it filled out completely because I want you to really think about this. This is the lifeline of your business. If Doris Christopher hadn't made that list of 101 people, Who knows where she'd be these days, right? Certainly wouldn't be where her family is set up for generations with money, right? Certainly wouldn't be there. You know, we wouldn't be here. Who knows where we would be? So this is really the lifeline of your business. You guys need to work on this lead list, okay? I'm looking at my list here. Okay, so your last job you're going to do this week. So we're not giving you too many jobs. I'm going to be sending out your list of partners. You know, we're crossing the teams into partners so that you can touch base with your partner. So you're going to email back and forth or call them and figure out when is the day of the week that I want you guys to speak to each other. And I do feel like if you speak to each other on the phone, even if it's only for 5 minutes, you're going to have more of a connection than you will if you're only emailing or texting. Okay. So find a time when you can talk at least once a week and then email and text throughout the week. Otherwise, you're going to be keeping each other on track. You're going to be sharing ideas and brainstorming. Okay, so this is a really integral part of this. This is how Jessica and I managed to meet and match up to work together. Okay, crossing the teams is important because we want you guys to have friends outside of your own little friend group. We want to see you make new friends, just like we tell our kids, go make some new friends, right? That really helps you in the business if you have other people you can lean on. Okay, and the last piece you're going to do is you're going to get your calendar ready. Because next week, Jessica's going to work with you to teach you how to make the phone calls, what to say, who to call, when, and how. Okay, she's going to work on all that with you. So in order to do that, you need to have your calendar prepared. And so let's talk about real quick about how you prepare your calendar. So the first thing you do, and you know what? It's funny. My calendar's not here. It's downstairs because I have shows this afternoon. But last year's calendar is sitting here. So let me show you my last year's calendar. I'm just going to open up to a month and show you what it looks like. We'll open up to November of last year. My calendar is not neat because I don't do things neatly. Oh, look, Jessica's holding up her calendar. Okay, so this is last October's calendar, October 2016. What do you guys notice? What do you notice on Jess's calendar also? What do you notice? What's on there? Do you have white pages? No white pages, right? What you have is stuff written on just about every day. I actually don't have any days last October that have nothing written on them. Not one day, okay? So the first thing you need to do is look busy. We call it fake it till you make it. But I believe that you're all busy, okay? Well, Jess highlights hers in color, I see. Okay, so the first thing you're gonna do is I want you to take your life and put it on your calendar. This is so important. And I'll tell you why it's important. When I was a new consultant, I was about 4 months into the business. My parents called me from New York and they're like, we're gonna come down for a visit next month. What weekend is good for you? I open up my calendar. No weekends are good for me. They were all completely booked with Pampered Chef shows. You know what I didn't do? I didn't give myself time for a life. We need to give ourselves time for a life. You cannot be a balanced person if you work all the time. You have to make sure that you're balancing your life with fun and other activities, okay? And that's super important. I can't say that enough. I hope you guys have hobbies. If not, go find one. Please take an hour off every day and do something just for yourself. It's going to make you a better person. It's going to make you a better consultant. Honestly, I like to read. I like to garden. I like to paint. I like to just talk on the phone with my friends. I like certain shows that I watch on TV. That doesn't mean I do all of that. I do a lot of work time, but I give myself goals. Okay, if you work for 2 hours on this job and you succeed in that, guess what? You get to go to the pool this afternoon. Guess what? You get to go over to the painting place. Guess what? You get to take an hour off and lay on the bed and read a book. Give yourself goals and give yourself rewards. And they should be rewards as something that feeds your soul. It's really important that you feed your soul to make you be a good consultant. Okay, so back to your calendar. Put some downtime in your calendar. Schedule downtime, okay? Put your life in your calendar. The first thing I put in my calendar, every day on Wednesdays, Morgan has piano lessons. I write it all the way across every Wednesdays. Tuesdays, she has French horn lessons. Monday, she has field hockey practice. Saturday, she has field hockey games. Thursday, my child is busy. Thursday, she has confirmation. And Friday, she has youth group. Okay. Literally, she has an activity 5 days out of the week. We're off. No, we're not even off on Wednesdays because we have piano on Wednesday. So she has 6 days a week. She has an activity of some variety. Okay. Because she's home by herself and I need her to stay out of trouble. So she has activities. So they were all on my calendar. Okay. And what I know is that Tuesdays, she has a 7 o'clock music lesson, a half an hour from here. So I had to be out the door by 6:30 so I can get her to music lessons. Okay. And my husband's not always home by 6:30. So I never schedule shows on Tuesday night because it just makes a conflict with our life. And that's why I have it on my calendar. Okay. Thursdays, she has confirmation from 6 to 7, but it's only 1 mile from the house. I can drop her at church and he can always get home and pick her up by 7. I can have shows on Thursday. Okay. Fridays, he's in charge of getting her to youth group from 7 to 9. I'm never in charge of that. I'm go out and do a show Friday night. Okay. I put her field hockey or her softball schedule on my calendar. So I try to make every game. There are times I can't make every game. And honestly, as long as we have one parent there, I'm okay with that. I don't have to be at every single thing all the time. And I never go to practice. I'm a drop and pick up kind of girl. We got a carpool going, 6 kids to field hockey on Monday nights, so I'm not good. I don't need to sit at practice. If I do have to sit at practice because it's my turn to do the carpool, I bring work with me and I make phone calls because you know what? I can watch and make phone calls. I'm not allowed to talk at practice anyway. I'm not the coach. So put everything in your life on your calendar. That's the first thing you need to do. Then you're going to look at your calendar and say, when can I work that's not going to conflict with my life? Because we want this business to be fun for you and to be profitable and to give you joy, like Suzanne said. We don't want it to be working against your life and be hard for you. You're not going to want to do it if it's hard for you. You're going to want to do it if you get stuff out of it. We want you to get joy, happiness out of it. That's the first thing we want you to get. We want you to get, the feeling of accomplishment out of it. And we want you to make money and earn free vacations and products and things like that. We want these things for you, okay? And I hope you want them. So, but in order to do that, you have to make sure the business works around your life and not against it. Does that make sense? So it's really important you start with your calendar and do it for the next couple months. Do November, December, and January. Put your life on the calendar. And if you use an electronic calendar, do it that way too. We actually have both in my house because my husband likes an electronic calendar and because I can't remember anything. So I put everything in my phone and then I set reminders so it tells me, hey, go there, So I have it in both places. At my shows, I don't like to look at an electronic calendar. I like to have a paper calendar in front of me. And when I'm in my office, I like to have a paper calendar. But if I'm running around and I decide to stop at the store and all of a sudden it tells me I'm supposed to be at the doctor's office, I can go and do that, okay? So make sure you're in control of your calendar. So that's your goal. For November, December, and January, I want you to put your life on your calendar and I want you to find the places where you are going to be able to work and mark them. You saw on Jessica's calendar, she has them marked in highlighter, okay? I don't have my current calendar here. My current calendar is downstairs, but it has circles around the numbers of the days that I want to work, okay? You want to be in control of your calendar. And I know sometimes people will say, well, what if I don't have any weekends and they only want to do a show on a weekend? I'm sorry. If they want to do a show with me, they'll find a date on my calendar. They do. 1,600 shows later, I'm telling you, if they want to do a show, we will find a date for them. Okay? It's not a problem. And if you say, hey, I can only work Tuesdays and Fridays, they will pick a Tuesday or a Friday to do a show with you. They will. That's how it works. Even if they can't pick one till February, they'll still pick one a day to do it with you. Okay? So just for review, let's go over what our homework was. Make the lead list. What is this? Oh, make the lead list. Make it ABC and hearts, right? Fill out your cold case file paper. Prep your calendar so that next week we can really hit the ground running and make phone calls. That doesn't mean that you can't make phone calls this week, but we're going to work on you next week, really hard on it. We've got to have you prepped to make those phone calls. And the other thing you're going to be doing is you're going to be checking in with your accountability partner and making some plans of when you guys are going to be talking. So how about everybody unmutes and ask questions, because we're right at 9:30 and I like to try to stay on schedule. So we're pretty much done. Anybody have a question?
That packet you're talking about, did we get an email on that?
Yeah, just gonna email it to you if you don't have it in your hands yet. Okay, can you do that, Jess? Or does she live nearby? Okay. So, who else has a question? You could just email them the pieces for this week's homework if you want. That might be the easiest way to do it.
Yeah, that's what I'll do later tonight.
Okay. Who else has a question? Anybody? Questions, comments? Thank you for joining us live. We are going to record it, so if you want to go back and listen to it over and over again, you're welcome to do that. Jess is going to share with all of us because she's got the recording going. And we will talk to you